Hello, my name is Alex Denisenko. I'm Holocaust researcher living in Lviv, Ukraine. I'm doing this for over 20 years. So now I'm in the so-called Lysinichi forest, a place near the village called Lysinichi. Now it's a suburb of Lviv. During the wartime, this was a separate community, very close to the city of Lviv. So this place looks quite lovely now, although there were terrible events in this area in 1944. At that time, Nazi Germans who were occupying this place started to realize that they are losing the war, and they decided to bring the remains of their Jewish and other victims to this area with the purpose to cremate them, thus to destroy any evidence of their crime. So they were bringing trucks with the semi-decomposed remains of their victims undug in the vicinity and in the city of Lviv, at the territory of Lviv ghetto, Yanovsky camp, and other sites. And they had made a very simple cremation facilities here, which were just firewood and some gasoline. So they were putting a layer of firewood, then the bodies, then another layer of firewood, and burned it. After the burning was finished, they were putting remains into a special grinder with the purpose to turn everything into dust, so no evidence remains. So in this area, by different estimation, between 200,000 to 300,000 people were cremated and also killed. So those were mostly the Jewish residents of the city of Lviv, also the soldiers of Italian and Belgian army, quite possibly that also the members of the French resistance. So this camp functioned for around half a year, from 4 months to half a year. After it was done, the trees were planted here, and it became the forest. The event is described by Mr. Velichker in his book called The Yanovska Road. He described in details what was happening here, how these trucks were coming via the Trakt Gliniansky, via Lysinichi to this forest, and how these people were burned here. I personally interviewed one elderly man who was a teenager at that time, and he personally saw these trucks and felt terrible smell coming from the cremation site. So after the Soviets came over, they have established the Extraordinary Commission for the investigation of the crime of the Nazis, led by Colonel of the Red Army of the NKVD, actually, Julian Schulmeister, who also described these terrible events. And now we could see this modest monument that commemorates the memory of the innocent victims of the Nazis. Unfortunately, after over 70 years of time, politicians did not learn any lessons from the Second World War, and we have another war going on in Ukraine now. Unfortunately, the Russian president did not learn the lesson from the Second World War. He does not realize that to start the war is easy, but to finish the war is not easy at all. And that's what we are experiencing and suffering right now. Thank you.